Hey everyone, welcome. It's a little bit later than I anticipated because I was throwing things at my computer making it work. But anyway, it is Saturday, December 3rd. I don't know what this is. And today we're just going to be doing more Mass Effect because although it was a little bit anticipated, there's a new briefing on the Mass Effect website, and I didn't get to dissect this during the original Overthinking It whenever we watched the original gameplay trailer from Game Awards. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look through, see what we've seen. I've already looked through it a lot, and if you follow me on Tumblr, on the Shaperit site, then you know that this goes through a lot of really interesting information about the Ark and the Nexus. If you don't know what that is, then, well, you know what, I'll just go ahead and I'll give context to everything. But anyway, before I start, thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. I saw a lot of people in here. Pring, Grim, thank you for the host. Much love. Thank you everyone who followed. Thank you as well, Vanfress88. Thank you for hosting. And yeah. Assad, thank you for joining. Big D, Put, Sun Body Light, oh my god. Tree Talkers, Trevor the Dragon, Captain Millennium, Shadowhawk. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Bitterbite, Bolt Pixels, ETR, James, Electriki, Ringo. Thank you for being here. And thank you everyone who's watching on YouTube, because I am gonna upload this later on YouTube. Any case. And hi, Firewater. Hi. Let's start. So, if you haven't seen it before, Mass Effect, on the Mass Effect website, they do have this Andromeda Initiative debriefings. So in order to actually get these exclusive the exclusive in-game assets, for instance, you get a helmet, you get like different parts for your armor. It's like Bioware is giving this for free, essentially. I say free with like a weird like quotation marks, because although it's technically free, you do have to watch the videos. But if you're interested in Mass Effect, like, that matters, right? Because you're just gonna watch it anyway. So I'm going to skip over the orientation video because it has been a couple weeks since it was released. We're gonna go into Arcs and Nexus, which is the next one. So it's basically your introduction to the Ark and the Nexus. So there are 4 different arcs and then the Nexus for Mass Effect Andromeda. The 4 arcs, there's one for each race. So there's one for the humans, which is Hyperion. There's one for the Turians. There's one for the Asari. There's one for the Krogans. And then also there's the Nexus, which is basically this awesome part of it's basically, think of it as a streamlined citadel. The citadel is the citadel, if you remember, is from Mass Effect 3. It was that big like place where we went to the Presidium, and there are like all these things. It's where the collection of galactic like races is. But the Nexus is basically a smaller version of that. And yeah, we're going to see a little bit more. So I'm going to full screen this as we watch real quick the brief, because it'll make way more sense if you actually see it for yourself. And I apologize for anyone who's already seen it, but in order to give context to everybody, it's better that we watch it together. So anyway, let's go.
Greetings and welcome, recruits. I am Avina, your virtual intelligence resource and guide for the duration of this briefing. Inspired by the Milky Way Citadel, the Nexus is a smaller, streamlined space station, designed to serve as your central support hub and temporary home once in Andromeda. The Nexus will carry with it a contingent of officials, engineers, traders, and security personnel on its voyage to Andromeda. All remaining humans will travel together, 20,000 strong, on Ark Hyperion. Even with faster-than-light travel, it would still take several human lifetimes to cover the 2.5 million light-years to your destination. Survival will be made possible by spending the majority of this voyage in cryostasis, protected beneath the mass effect shields generated by your pods. As you travel to the edges of the known galaxy, a small escort of combat pilots will defend us from any threats. However, once we cross into dark space, we will be alone with only our kinetic barriers to shield us during our centuries-long journey. Once in Andromeda, the Nexus and Arcs will rendezvous in the Helios cluster, and operations will commence immediately. While the Nexus will be largely functional at launch, many elements of its construction are only scheduled for completion upon arrival at our destination. Docked to the Nexus, the Arcs will provide additional power and storage to the station. You will be revived and assigned quarters in one of the residential blocks for a short time, as our immigration staff assists you in choosing a new homeworld. Until the Pathfinders have completed securing these habitats, the Nexus will offer many duties and distractions. The archives in the Cultural Center house the combined history of the many Milky Way species and will assist new races encountered in learning about our galaxy and its past. Lush hydroponics gardens are available for a quiet escape. Or you can also take the opportunity to socialize with a visit to the Vortex Lounge for any desired off-duty indulgences. The Operations Center will oversee security and management of the entire station, housing everything from colonization efforts to Pathfinder HQ, where Pathfinders will converge to share information and discuss their progress. The state-of-the-art science labs will also be on hand to investigate their discoveries as they begin to unlock the secrets of this new galaxy. Together, you will create a bustling center of trade, community, government, and diplomacy, the beating heart of your new beginning in Andromeda. I invite you to visit me there for further assistance.
Okay, I made a totally grave error. I don't know why. Well, actually, no, I do know why. Krogans have been on my brain, considering that we went through. Whenever you actually look at this, it goes through the leadership, and there's a Krogan female, and I had a little bit of a conversation yesterday with a couple of people about the legitimacies of why there's a Krogan female in leadership position. But in any case, it's let me reiterate again. The Arcs are Solarian, Turian, Asari, and human, with the Nexus also on there. I'll explain the conversation about the Krogan female one later. It's there. In any case, let's go back, and I muted this so we don't have to watch it completely. But if you go through the training, it goes through a bunch of different parts. Now, the narration for this is Avina. If you remember correctly from Mass Effect 1, I almost said 3, Mass Effect 1, Avina is the VI that basically shows you around the Presidium and tells you different information that you can learn about it. Oh my gosh, is it Mass 1? Anyway, she's from Mass Effect. And she goes through all the information that you want to know about the Presidium and like the Citadel, the original hub of all of the galactic races over in the original trilogy. And let me just go back to it. So I'll just do this real quick. Avina is a virtual intelligence program designed to answer questions and provide guidance on and insight on current events. Avina appears as a hologram, always taking the form of an Asari, one of the races found in the Milky Way galaxy, and will be accessible at several terminals throughout the Nexus. With a limited capacity for discourse, Avina is more suited to offering information rather than opinions. And here are the actual pictures. She's in all three. There you go. Thank you, guys. At least I was technically right. It's Mass 1 to 3. It's been a while because I remember there was also a few male VIs that popped up, so I didn't want to get completely confused. But Avina is through here. And you see different ones. She's always showing up as an Asari character. Boom. Now, that's not the only thing that they also show. They show the ODSY, the Odyssey drive system, which is basically how they get over to Andromeda. Now, if you listened to the actual trailer, I guess is the best way of putting it, the trailer, the debriefing, they mentioned that there would be people that actually, there would be a small team that wakes up before the arrival to Andromeda. So there's approximately, if I remember correctly, right before they hit, right as they're going to Andromeda, there's approximately 20,000 people on the ship. A little bit more than 20,000 people on the ship, on the Nexus, and so on, in order to go to the new system. Galaxy. Any case. And Ryder wakes up beforehand. So anyway, real quick. With the Arks unable to refuel by traditional means in dark space, the journey to Andromeda is only made possible by the Odyssey drive system. The ODSY is a massive experimental drive core specifically designed for this transgalactic voyage. It's capable of recycling static energy that would typically cause a starship to explode, instead storing it to power the Ark's primary systems. Meanwhile, an electromagnetic ramp scoop will gather hydrogen from the Ark's surroundings, converting it to fuel as needed. And here's a few pictures. This is the Nexus that we see. And we saw this from the original N7 trailer from not this year, but last year. And then, there you go. And also, before I forget, for anyone who is in the Twitch chat right now who's here live, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. If I don't answer, or if I'm not able to answer, someone else will, or I'll pull the answers as well if I can. Boop, 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 boop. I want my Shepherd VI. So do I. Actually, that would be pretty good. Now, the next one is regarding the Ark Hyperion. Now, the Ark Hyperion is the human Ark. And your character will be on this Ark. Now, real quick, obviously, again, Hyperion represents one of the several arcs specifically designed for the Andromeda Initiative mission. While its support staff is comprised of a variety of Milky Way races, Hyperion is primarily responsible for the transport of human colonists to Andromeda. At more than 1.5 kilometers long and weighing 17 million metric tons, Hyperion and its sister arcs rank among the largest starships in the galaxy. Hyperion is currently in the final stages of construction within the moon's orbit. Now, if you remember the original one, if you watched it, the original Andromeda Initiative debriefing, the first one, they actually show you on the moon, and there's a whole colony on there. And if it's in the final stages, then it seems that Hyperion is pretty close to home. You already saw this. This is the Hyperion. Also, that was shown from N7 Day last year. These are the stasis pods where you're going to be in cryogenic sleep. Also, we saw this in the E3 trailer. And then also, Hyperion. Now, this is what I wanted to poke at. I think this is a very, very important one. The Nexus leadership. So the Nexus is like the big thing. Now, there's 3 of them. Now, we know that Jean is the original, like, spearhead of the Andromeda Initiative project. But these are the actual top 3 for Nexus. Now, the first one is the Director of Colonial Affairs, which is Foster Addison. Now, real quick. Foster Addison oversees all colonization logistics for the Andromeda Initiative, making sure all settlements are up and running and colonists have a place to live. So she has red hair, blue eyes, and she is also a human. The next one, now I'll go into conversation later, but Nexus Superintendent Nakmor Kesh. So Nakmor Kesh is a female, Nakmor Kesh is a female Krogan and part of the core team of station engineers who built the Nexus. Her contributions during the mission include station upkeep and ensuring all facilities remain in working order. Now, we had a little bit of a conversation about this on Twitter yesterday. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure if you really wanted, you could look for the conversation about it. But basically, the question was, why is it that there's a female Krogan in a leadership position? Now, in Mass Effect, you go through this whole situation about how the genophage happened and how several of the Krogan populace were made infertile because, well, basically it was a joint effort that was done by the Turians and like whatnot on the fact that Krogans breed like crazy. So this thing called the genophage basically ruined that. So females were put in a position where if you were fertile, you were not exactly hunted. I don't want to use that word. But you were basically kind of seen as a piece of meat and as a prize. That's the word I was looking for those who wanted to breed. So that because the female Krogans were considered in such a high demand, because obviously if they want to have the longevity of their race, they need to breed. Now, for the females, they actually, for the ones that were infertile, they actually have some place in the universe because they were actually like given more roles. But one of the questions that was raised up was, why is there a female Krogan in leadership? Because it's happened before. It's not completely far-fetched. If you... Oh, sorry. I'll get to questions in the chat later. But we've had a female warlord before in the lore. We've had female Krogans who are very powerful in their status, I guess is the best way of putting it. Let me pull up... Actually, can I pull this up on here? I think I can. One second, guys. I'll show you... Whoops! Never happened. Total production quality, right? There was a female Krogan warlord at some point who was a fertile female Krogan. I am kind of like jaded by that by that explanation. But any case, I'm pulling the name because I can't remember it again. Oh my gosh. Don't mind me. Let's see here. Where are you? There we go. Chiager. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. If you look at and obviously one of the best resources, obviously like keep it with a grain of salt because this is, I guess, fan curated content, but essentially like if you go to the Mass Effect Wikia, there is information always that you can always look up, but if you look at the Krogan rebellions and you actually look down, you'll find information about the female Krogan warlord, who used her rare fertility to draw the strongest males to her band, but even she couldn't hold out against the Turian peacekeeping forces, who finally killed her at the Battle of Canrum. In any case, for those who are curious of why there's a female Krogan in power, because the lore supports it. Anywho, now, going back to not female, but to the leadership. The next one is someone we've actually recently met. So that's Sloane Kelly. Sloane Kelly is an Alliance-trained soldier and responsible for all the security initiatives aboard the Nexus upon arrival in Andromeda. Now, if you remember the gameplay trailer that just came out at the Game Awards, we actually saw her. I'm going to pull the video and see if I can take us to the point that it starts up. Let me see if I can grab this real quick. In 4K! Ah! So, we go to this area that has... Oh, wow, I skipped right into it. We go into this area that seems to be filled with a whole bunch of degenerates or gang members or what have you. But we listen in on Ryder as she goes to Sloane Kelly.
And don't lie to me. Just point me to where you're holding him and there won't be any trouble. There won't be.
Drop it!
Now!
Ooh,
You first.
I almost had it. There you go. I skipped the Krogan? What? I was right there. And apparently chat's really into talking hybrids. But in any case, this is Sloan Kelly. It seems that after the events of Andromeda, going to Andromeda for the first time, factions split, certain things happen, and, well, not everyone is a happy human. A lot of people have been talking that she is also being voiced by the same voice actress as Vivienne in Dragon Age Inquisition, but I don't think that's been confirmed as of yet, but hopefully. Let me see here. That said, the village is pretty shiny and cut. I didn't read the Krogan? I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did. One more time. Nakmor is a female Krogan and part of the core team of station engineers who built the Nexus. Her contributions during the mission include station upkeep and ensuring all facilities remain in working order. Alright. I think the last thing that is actually brought up is... Oh, they mentioned it! Mass Effect! The Mass Effect represents the scientific principle and basis behind most technology in the known galaxy. What? Avina, you're up here. Mass effect fields are created through the use of the element zero, which can increase or decrease the mass of space-time when subjected to an electrical current via dark energy. In space, mass effect fields have implications in everything from faster-than-light travel to the creation of shields used to protect starships to cryostasis pods, allowing a person to survive in a suspended state for extended voyages. So this is, if you remember, this is the original mass relay, this is the Normandy, and this is the cryostasis pod that we're going to be using in Mass Effect.
Spectre status recognized.
Oh, snap. We got ourselves subscribed. Wrathlord, thank you for subscribing. So I am really bad at blowing bubbles, so that's what I do for everyone who subscribes. And I'm sorry, YouTubers, people on YouTube who are watching this and being really, really confused. But in any case, Wrathlord, thank you for subscribing. I did it. Thank you so much. Also, aren't Andromeda Krogan still genophage? That is actually... So I'm going to take questions from the chat. As of right now, as we think of it, yes. However, we don't know to the extent of who we brought on. Now, there's more than 20,000 people that are on this journey. The question is, where did they grab all these people? Now, some of them are scientists, some of them are explorers. Ha ha, explorers wanted. But we don't officially know how many are fertile, how many aren't. Krogans breed like crazy, so it may become not a problem now moving into Andromeda, but in the way further distance that something could happen and they actually try and be horrible people to them, but we're not sure. What races are on the ship? So on the ship right now there are Salarians, Krogans, Turians, and Asari, and
Spectre
humans.
status recognized.
Those are the confirmed races that we have from the Milky Way galaxy. Now, as far as the races that are in Andromeda, but aren't from the Milky Way galaxy, we do know the Ket are a thing, the remnants. They're also the other. There's a new race that popped up during the gameplay trailer that we don't know just yet. I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. It's in the fight where you start meleeing everything and going here it is. So in this little part, there's a little, I guess you could say, outpost that is up there, and there's a person that we use our Vanguard charge to. I'll let it run for a little bit. Dude, Pring! Thank you for subscribing. Oh my god. Hold on. This is for you. I was trying to make that elegant and it didn't work. No, thank you for the subscription. Here's from me to you. Totally stealing insanity stuff. There, that's for you. In any case, did we skip it? I hope we did. Oh man. Didn't. Yeah, we did. Let me bring it back up. Oh, I just stopped right on it. So this person right here, which I've been calling the Ivan Ooze, because for lack of a better word, if you don't know what Ivan Ooze is from, it's from a little TV show way back when, well actually technically a movie, called Power Rangers. But in any case, there was a name called the Angara, which is a race that is in Andromeda as well. It was briefly mentioned in a murder investigation earlier on in this trailer, but for the time being, I suppose we can technically use the name Angara to describe these people. But if it's wrong, then we'll just correct ourselves later on. Let me bring this up. Here it is. So very briefly, let me see if I can stop it right here. It says blood spatter. Now this is the scanning tool that we have available to us in Andromeda, and during this quest, you are basically investigating a murder, and a murder or homicide or what have you. And it says data, multiple DNA sources detected, 100% Krogan, 100% Angara. So it's, as we take it, it is pretty much a new race. While most, let me read the analysis just in case if you can't read it from here. While most of the, Avina's voice is very hard, by the way. While most of the blood belongs to the victim, there are traces of Angaran DNA, possibly from the knife slipping while prying open the Krogan's frontal plate. So there you go. Cool. I'm thinking our choice of companions are Corallium, PB, Vetrodrak, and a new alien species. That would actually be a good assessment, considering if we're going to mesh. One of the things with the Andromeda Initiative is that you're working with other people. That you're, while you're colonizing new worlds in Andromeda, you're trying to bridge affairs and communications with other races. Now, earlier in that little gang territory that we were at, let me move back just a smidge. We know that we can at least communicate with the Angara because one of them is in the trade hub right here. So at the very least, we have the capability of understanding the Angara and also the Ket because they speak in English because it just makes sense. Then again, obviously, the Omni tool translates for us and everything. But in any case, right now, as far as the companions, we have a few confirmed. Now, thankfully, you Lady Games for Fun wrote it out for me, so I don't have to remember it offhand. Liam is our... So I'm going to go through the confirmed companions right now. And if you don't want to listen to this, then I can also play this all the way over again. So Liam is our human male companion. He is described as always having our back, but he's very quick to action, kind of very... Think Caden, which is why I personally like him. Think Caden, but just a little bit more aggro. Just a very smidge more aggro. Other than that, PB is the happy Asari, the smiling Asari, the one who has the purple paint across her eyes. We've seen her many times, and we know her name is PB, but that is actually not her original name. Vetra is... Ooh, I just passed her! This is perfect timing. Jeez, I couldn't have planned it better. So our next companion is Vetra, who's right here. I'm so sorry for those who watched my original gameplay trailer analysis, because I kept on saying Volta, because Dragon Age never escapes this mind, but her name is Vetra. She's a female Turian, and also she is the first female Turian that we've had as a companion straight up. Technically, we had a companion, not a companion, we had a, I don't know if you can even call her a companion because it's very temporary, but during the Omega DLC in Mass Effect 3, we had a female Turian who is voiced by Sumili Montano, who was also the voice of the Inquisitor for Dragon Age. But in any case, we have her as well. And then in the back, who's wearing the yellow outfit with the, I almost want to say mammoth tusk just because of Skyrim, but the bones, the right on his, I don't know, the border, I guess is the best way of putting it, of his armor. He's also named Drac. And apparently, he's a real, let's just say a real good guy. A good Krogan. Alright, now we're gonna keep going into the... Oh, yeah, and briefly mentioned was the fact that we have a female human companion named Cora. That was... I don't think the intention was to announce it, but it was loosely... she was loosely commented on by one of the voice actors. So, boop. Okay, so here's a question from chat. Bumble232 asks, do you think Quarians would at least be involved in the design of the arcs, or at least consulted, because they would logically be the most experienced at space life because of the flotilla? Now, if you notice, there's actually a couple of Quarian weapons that are being used during Mass Effect Andromeda, especially, specifically in this trailer. There's one, or maybe two. I know of one. There might be two. It might as well. It may be possible. We don't have Quarians confirmed just yet. Like, whether yes or no. But they are a part of the galaxy, so we may see a presence. At the worst, we may see a Quarian... No, I wouldn't say at the worst, but it's possible that maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 that are in the Nexus, which is like the big city citadel kind of thing. But we don't know completely just yet. Ringo wants me to do the Orlesian accent. I cannot do the Orlesian accent because then it turns into something else and it turns into Italian. Let's see here. Sweet Kaden. I romance Kaden as well. I got you. And as far as romances, none have been confirmed yet. Although we have been confirmed, there are romances. Because, yeah. And I'm already seeing points in chat that Drac is hot. That was fast. We've never had a Krogan romance. It'll be fun if we get a dwarf romance. It'll be like if we get a dwarf romance in DA. Now, are you going to actually romance a Krogan, and can you handle it? That's the real question. So the question was, do you think that we will have some companion that will be a species from Andromeda? Now, I'm speaking on the matter of, like, I'm not, like, confirming, like, any, like, NDA information or whatnot, but I think it would just make sense. Because we already have I'm calling it the Angara, but it could be a completely different race. We have some kind of friendly relationship with the Angara, or at least neutral. So it's completely possible that we may have a companion or not. Let me see here. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, one of the things that a lot of people have been, I don't want to say complaining about, but just being very critical, is the fact that the voice acting is a little bit off. Now, whenever we see this, like this kind of like gameplay in any trailer, you should always consider that it's most likely not the final product. It actually isn't, because a lot of changes are added, especially since the game isn't gold yet. It has a ways to go. There are a lot of bugs that they have to take care of. There's a lot of different like systems, and if you notice inside this trailer, there's actually a bunch of placeholders where the text is. So don't consider it as the final product. It's pretty damn good looking, but we're not there completely just yet. So there's always the option for improvement on lip sync. One of the things that was mentioned also is that there's more performance capture. There's more performance capture in this game rather than, because Bioware is known for doing all of the different lip syncing and the different actions by hand. If I remember correctly, whenever it was Dragon Age Inquisition and having to deal with Iron Bull, all of that stuff by hand. But now there's more performance capture, and you have like it seems that they really bumped up the technology that was used for Mass Effect Andromeda compared to even Dragon Age Inquisition, which was 2014. Well, it was built for like what, 2011 to 2014. In any case, let's keep going. I'll answer a couple questions. This was meant to be a very short stream, so I don't want to like engage way too hard on it. But this information, the information from the latest Andromeda Initiative was something that I really wanted to talk about. And in the future, I do want to do more of these little dissections with overthinking it. And obviously, going further on, I do want to talk about it at length with theory crafting, because as far as the arc's concerned, I have a lot. Oh my gosh. And Luminescence comments, Yog Romance. Velociraptor goes, we rode the bull, we can ride the Krogan. Oh boy. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here if anyone has any more things to say. If I know any of the answers, then I will answer. Oh my gosh. But for those who are watching on YouTube, I will be streaming these live breakdowns, these live analysis way more as things go for Mass Effect Andromeda, and also further whenever we see anything from the new IP for Dragon Age, and maybe even SWTOR. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars The Old Republic as of late because it's good. Knights of the Eternal Throne, oh my gosh, that DLC is absolutely amazing. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, so as you continue to watch out for new Mass Effect Andromeda news, be sure to use hashtag #RideTheKrogan. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. But I think for the time being, this is pretty much the extent of what we have right now. For those who were also wondering, so today I'm streaming on December 3rd. There was the PlayStation Experience. Now, for the PlayStation, the 4K console, I can't remember the name right now because it's eluding me. They showed off the 4K. They showed off a 4K gameplay of Mass Effect Andromeda in that vault. But this time around at the PlayStation Experience, there was nothing announced. There wasn't anything shown. It was purely very dedicated PlayStation titles. So, the question, Ashe, why aren't you making YouTube videos like the Bioware breakdowns and the theory vids? Theory vids will come soon. I just need to properly make them. I'm testing out basically doing these live breakdowns because something that came to mind was that there are a lot of people in the community who make awesome content. They make awesome breakdown videos. They make awesome trailer analysis videos and all that. What happened to me in the Dragon Age whole thing, following Dragon Age Inquisition for literally 3 to 4 years, was that I kept on getting bogged down with having to do news. I mean, I love the Dragon Age news, and I love doing Bioware news, but at the same time, you lose the flavor of loving the series itself because you're doing news. You don't go into theories. You don't go into... Like, if you watch me before, I used to do Dragon Age talks. That was my highlight because I love doing those. But at this point, I realized that going into Mass Effect Andromeda, it's much better if I do these kind of live breakdowns because I can interact with you guys. I can interact with chat. I can talk to you versus sitting in a room, in this room, by myself, dissecting it and not doing anything, or not sharing that information until 4 in the morning. So I want to be part of what you guys are experiencing versus being in a room and secluded for the entire way through until we hit Andromeda. So, oh yeah, and that whole copyright strike, yeah, that too. that really killed it. So there's a lot. But in any case, I think it's time to wrap this up. Thank you everybody for watching. It was a very short stream, but I want to do smaller stuff like this. I think I'll continue with a different game, but for the time being, for YouTube's sake, I'm going to call it here. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much. You can follow me on Twitter at Lady Insanity. And also, before I forget, for those who watched the gameplay trailer, there's still the option of entering the giveaway until, what day is it? Until December 8th. Now, basically, for the ones who watched the Game Awards trailer, all you had to do in order to win one of 2 of the shirts that is exclusive for N7 Day. In other words, you cannot get this thing at all anymore. All you have to do is answer, what is your favorite or least favorite part of the gameplay trailer? All you have to do is follow me at Lady Insanity, because I need to be able to contact you for your address if you win. And also tweet your answer with the hashtag MEA or bust. I would have made it Andromeda or bust, but unfortunately way too many characters. Oh, there's one more question. So because... Oh, let me pull this back. Okay. So, because Mass Effect Andromeda takes place after ME2 but before ME3, would it be safe to assume that Cerberus will make an appearance in the new game, or in one form or the other? One of the private backers of the Initiative, maybe, and have some people on the arcs. So, there's always the possibility. There's always going to be possibility for, I think the best way of describing it is human separatists. Separatists. For people who only value humans first. It is possible. I can imagine a side quest that may involve it completely. But no confirmations yet. All we know is that there are no Reapers in Mass Effect Andromeda. That's the big thing. Obviously, we may see codex entries about it, but we won't physically see Reapers. Cool. Alright. And thank you everyone. And oh, Bitterbutt, you better do it fast if you want the questions. I'll answer it and I'll keep going. But for the sake of the YouTube video, thank you for everyone who is watching, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Be sure to keep track on Twitter because I'm going to message all the stuff. Also, I'm going to put it in the Discord. If you want to join me on Discord, where I just announce every single time I'm going to do a stream, it's discord.gg/ASHE. So that's discord.gg/Ashe. I'm sure I'm going to put it in the description somewhere. So join me on there, and then I always mention it. Anyway, thank you. Take care. And for those who are in the Twitch chat, I'll chill for a little bit. But on YouTube, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.